What's up, everybody? I'm Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and thank you all so much for being here and for watching the video. If you're new and you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you already watched the videos, thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys that watch the videos and comment on them, and hit that like button for me. Helps with the algorithm to get the videos out to new viewers and help the channel grow. Alright, today I'm going to be doing an overview of the TW Price Dawn. This is a knife that went on pre-order a while back, and over the past couple of weeks they finally started, the owners started receiving them. This knife is in on kind of loan, but not really loan. I'll explain more on that in a minute, from Saigon Kick 2018. This is a very cool knife, very good EDC size knife. One thing that impresses me the most about this knife is the way this milling is done on it. You get a lot of micro milling with titanium, and you know, it provides some grip, but the way this milling is done, the grip is yeah, it's fantastic. It's so grippy. I'm gonna bring this up to the mic and slide my fingernail across this so you can, hopefully the mic will pick it up and you can hear what I'm talking about. You hear that? It's so grippy. I love the way they did the milling. It's so good. I wish other knife makers would follow suit and spread it out like that. The way it's spread out just makes it, it's just super grippy. It's almost like jimping, but it's not sharp. It's very comfortable, but it works like jimping, you know. Jimping keeps your finger from sliding. Same with this. It'll keep your thumb or whatever from sliding across the scale unless you really force it to. This knife is primarily a front flipper, I believe, but actually I shouldn't say primarily, because it has excellent reverse flicking action and thumb flicking action also. But I guess for me, someone who loves front flippers, it would be primarily a front flipper, but to each their own. If you don't like front flipping, you can reverse flick or thumb flick it. Although for me, the reverse flick can be tricky in my right hand because of my arthritis, because you don't have a, you know, a giant fuller. You got to hit it just right. My left hand, I do a lot better with it, honestly. But if you don't have arthritis, it won't be an issue for you. Very nice looking knife too, in my opinion. That's a perfect EDC size knife. Kind of a I don't know, kind of sounds crazy talking about a knife, but that's a sexy looking knife. That's a good looking knife. Unfortunately, these are currently sold out, but follow TW Price on Instagram, and I think there will be more of these, or another pre-order, or maybe, I think he actually got some extras, and we'll be dropping them at some point in the future. But after, you know, all the orders are done and everything's done, sometimes, you know, you have issues, so you have to hold some back in case somebody has an issue with one or something like that. But after a certain time period, I think he will be dropping some more of these. So follow him on Instagram to get details on that. All T8 hardware on this knife, no T6 at all. Even the lock bar insert is T8, and it does have a steel lock bar insert. Has a nice titanium pivot collar around your pivot that's anodized like purplish magenta color. They did release this in this black wash and a regular titanium, raw titanium look, silver, kind of a silver look. Give you some specs on this thing real quick, but just to give you a little more look at the action. Great action on this knife. Alright, these are the specs from the TW Price website. Overall length is 7.5 inches. Blade length is 3.3 inches. Cutting edge is only 3 inches because of this choil you got cut in here. You lose a little bit of cutting edge, but you gain the ability for sharpening, and you can, if you have smaller fingers, you can get your finger up there and rest it, but you are close to that edge. So, you know, I have a medium sized hand, so, you know, something to keep in mind. The larger hand, you're probably not going to be able to put your finger up there too well. You may get a little bit on that edge. So blade thickness is 118 thousandths. Handle, or the hardness is 60 HRC. It's a flat ground blade. Close length 4.4 inches. The handle length is 4.25 inches. Handle thickness at the thickest part is 0.47 inches, and the weight is 3.3 ounces. And I have verified the weight already. It is 3.3 ounces. And this is OEM by Bitster. This one does have some pretty good contouring on the scales also. They are thicker in the middle than they are on the edges. which assists in those excellent ergos you get with this knife. Excellent ergos. Pocket clip is excellent, works fantastic. It's a great pocket clip. I think it's milled. I mean, it looks milled back here the way this is done, but the way they did the milling, it looks like a normal pocket clip, like a deep carry, but it's actually milled that way, and it works great. You do have a lot of weight relief on the inside. I'm gonna see if I can get this to show up in here. If you look in there, you can see where they've cut out like triangles and different shapes on the scale, squares, just different. They cut out as much as they could basically to reduce the weight. You can see one right there pretty good in the middle. Right here, you can see how they've milled out the inside for weight relief. I also like the fact that they did the lock bar cut on the inside of the scale. So many knife companies put it on the outside. I don't understand why more don't put it on the inside. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Maybe it's just more difficult to, I don't know if it's, I would say it'd be more difficult. I guess you have to flip the scale over. But if you're doing all that milling on the inside, then it makes sense. You're milling on both sides of the scales anyway, and that's going to increase the price. But since you're already doing the weight relief on the inside, I guess it's easier to go ahead and do that notch on the inside. Let me give you some size comparisons of this knife real quick. Got a couple of good ones. We'll start with some that aren't the best comparisons, but they are lengthwise. The Nimble X. Get you over here in the middle. So Nimble X is a little bit bigger. I'd say the Nimble X probably has about a 1/2 inch on the Dawn. And let's do the AD 20.5. Very good comparison lengthwise, almost identical in length to the AD 20.5. Next up, we will bring out some that are probably much closer in size to this. The QSP Penguin. Very good comparison. It's a little longer than the Penguin. Actually, I'd say it's probably got a 1/2 inch of length on the Penguin. And the Benchmade Bug Out. This is probably the best comparison size knife to this knife. I mean, those two are very, very similar knives, shapes, everything about them, very similar. So if you're a fan of the size of the Bug Out, you will like this knife. Something else this thing has going for it that usually the Bug Outs don't. This one's been modified by Craig. The contouring makes it feel better in hand, where actually I'll use the Bug Out for a thickness comparison here. This Bug Out's not the same width or thickness as most Bug Outs, but let's use the Penguin because this is a regular width frame like Penguin. So on the edges they're identical here, but the Penguin has no contouring. It's flat on the scales, and this one, so hard to get contouring, that curvature of the handles to show up on camera, but it's got a good curvature to it, great contouring, which makes it super comfy. Fit and finish on this knife is excellent. No sharp edges anywhere. Everything's chamfered down. Everything's smooth to the touch. Feels really good. The pocket clip, one thing I will say about the pocket clip, the way it swoops up right there, if you're gripping really hard, and if you're going to be gripping really hard for a long period of time, that might become an issue. I don't know. Up here, if you're choked up, it's not an issue at all. But back here, I do feel that pocket clip right here near my middle finger on my hand when I'm gripping pretty tightly. Yeah, I wish they would have brought that, curved it up and flattened it out. Maybe started the curvature upward back here a little further and then flattened it out on the top a little bit to where you don't get the tip of that right into your hand. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong. It's not bad. There's far worse, but it seems like something they could have gotten a little better, and maybe they will if they do another run of these, which I think they probably will, because this was pretty successful. And if I'm correct, Tyler Price, TW Price, Tyler Price is his name. Follow him on Instagram, by the way. I think he's like 20 or 21 years old and designed this knife, which is amazing. Good for him. He will have a bright future, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future. For a first design, and I think this is his first design. I mean, pretty impressive, honestly. Give you some more details on the knife. It does have ceramic cage bearings in it, ceramic ball detent. I call this a hybrid pocket clip, which is kind of what I was telling you. It looks like a deep carry pocket clip. It looks similar to, say, like this on the whew, can't believe I'm having a brain fart right now. Sheepdog, the mini sheepdog. Looks similar to the mini sheepdog clip, but this is milled that way. It's not folded over metal like these deep carry clips are. This isn't deep carry either, but you know, it looks like it's a folded clip like this, but it's actually milled to look that way, which is very interesting. It does have a flat ground blade. So they do call this a protruded finger choil. Yeah, I think it would probably, I think it's more of a sharpening choil. Like I said, you can get your finger in there, but I would be cautious, because even with my medium-sized hands, I'm right up on that edge. I would be concerned using it with my hands as a finger choil. Give you a comparison to a real finger. What I am comfortable using as finger choils is Nimble X. I can get all the way up here, and I'm not getting my finger anywhere near that edge. You know what I mean? To where with this one, I definitely am. So. Yeah, M390 blade. I think I already said that, but if not, it is M390. If I already said it, then yeah, that's okay. Cool. Another cool thing about this knife is the way the pocket clip is attached. The pocket clip is part of the frame screws, so this screw goes straight through the standoff and holds the pocket clip in from the show side. Very simple construction too. Just has two standoffs back there. Does have a stop pin. Yeah, very simple construction. Take out a couple of screws, 1, 2, 3, and you got this thing off. And your pocket clip is free. Or you could just 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 screws. All T8s too, which is great. I wish everyone would do that. So, well, that's going to do it, guys. Actually, one more thing I forgot to point out. The detent on this is a little bit light. It's not bad. It's just a little bit light. And I'm curious if any of you guys got this. Is your detent a little light also on yours? I've noticed with front flippers, a lot of front flippers have a lighter detent, so it's not bad. I mean, obviously you can see the action. I mean, it's really good. So, and the jimping on the front flipper is also really good. I should have brought that up earlier. Very good jimping. You can do it any way you want it. You can go over the top like that, but I'm not going to do that because I'm terrible at it. And so one-handed anyway. I don't want to drop it. It's not mine. So thank you again to Craig Saigon Kick 2018 for sending this to me. And what I was talking about earlier with this knife, I am going to be doing a knife sale video in the next couple weeks, and there's going to be a lot of knives in it. Probably 50 knives, maybe more than that, 50 to 75, somewhere in that range. Some sent in by Craig, and some of my own that I'm going to be putting in that sale. Also, I started a Patreon, and if you are a patron, and you will get early access to the knife sale. You will get 24-hour advance option to buy the knives before everyone else gets the option to buy the knives. And there's going to be some really cool knives in this sale too. So, and depending on your tier on Patreon, you can even get discounts on the knives when you buy them. So check out the Patreon page if you want to know more about that. It'll be linked down in the description. And check out TW Price on Instagram to see if he's going to be dropping some more of these. Also check out Saigon Kick 2018 on Instagram. Give him a follow. And comment below, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next one.